Okay, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair, everybody. We're back to this 026. And boy, have I gotten some interesting emails about, oh my god, you're working on a Stihl, you've gone to the dark side. Only temporarily. Only long enough to get the hell out of the dark side. Ah, come on, these damn gloves. Well, that went well. Oh, son of a bitch. You know, there are certain days that things just don't seem to go right. And when putting on a freaking glove doesn't go right, that's probably a bad sign. So while I'm fighting with just normal manual dexterity issues over here, we need to do the crank seals on this thing. I got that set in from Custom Chainsaw Parts. I like the look of the seals. They're double lippers. Both of them. So we're going to use them. And as you guys recall, our biggest culprit was this flywheel side one here. But because we're smart, we're going to replace both of them. And the rest of the crankcase was solid. So I'm going to assume that with new seals, I'm not going to have any issues with this saw and runnability. Alright, so we're going to pop the old seals out. There's lots of ways to do this. I'm going to use the ways that I know work best for me, which is use a screwdriver and get under that outer lip and pry that sucker out. And sometimes you got to pry in a couple spots. And sometimes the seal just comes apart, like this one's trying to. This thing's pretty weak. There she comes. The rubber on this was shot. Now, there's the garter spring. We need to take it to. That kind of came out of the seal as it was distorting as I was removing it. Now, notice all of the black gobbledygook down in there. This thing's been leaking for a little while. And the gobbledygook would have been material that you didn't necessarily want living in your engine. When a crank seal first starts to go, you may not even notice it. You may, as in was the case with this one, I'm guessing, you may be able to tune it out. But sooner or later it gets to the point where it's leaking so bad like this one was, that you don't have a choice, but you've got to replace it. So let's do it. Now, a purist might say, well, you probably just scratched up the crankshaft and the housing around that and da-da-da. Well, no, I didn't. The crankshaft is harder than my screwdrivers. That I know for a fact. But I'm not ever touching the crankshaft when I do that. I'm being careful not to. Now, can I see a little dent up here? Yeah. Is it going to hurt anything? No. I'm talking about in the crankcase itself. Alright. Because I'm not scratching the inside surface. And if for some reason I did, you know what? A little moto seal would take care of that. Now I popped for the tool that Custom Chainsaw Parts had for this. It was supposed to be for an 026 and a whole bunch of other Stihls. There we go. That's about the same depth, excuse me, that the other one was at. I'll go a little further. Definitely wasn't driven in as deep as this tool would let it go. I'm looking at where the seal is riding and letting that be my gauge. And I'm pretty happy with that right there. Make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, there. That should take care of the culprit of the real bad one. So this tool actually has a Stihl part number on it. It might be an OEM Stihl tool. I'm gambling that I can use this on some of my home lights. Now, generally, home light has more of a crankshaft extension, so it may only work when the saw's apart, but figure any kind of driving tool, that's not a bad thing to have, you know what I mean? Now, I don't think there was actually a stinking hot washers from something else. There wasn't. There wasn't a washer on that flywheel, which seems odd, but I can see the wear pattern of just the nut down there. So again, I'm going to assume that Stihl knows what they are doing. Which is likely a safe assumption. They've sold a lot of chainsaws. Just because they're not my favorite doesn't mean that they don't know what they're doing. Okay. So now we need to get in to replace this clutch side one. I put everything back together loosely, at least I think it was loose, because I didn't want to lose anything. Not that I couldn't figure out what the heck it was I was doing, but I'm going to try and keep this together. Ah, come on. Oh, come on, you miserable little puke. There we go. But things I don't have to figure out later, I like. Okay, I did leave that loose, that's good. Need to clean that clutch up anyway. Alright. So, it is clear to me that we've got to remove that automatic oiler, and that seal's going to be right underneath it. And I think these were T27s, and not T25s. Okay. So far, so good. Question is, am I going to be able to get that oil hose loose without ripping it out of the tank? And I hope the answer is yes. Oh boy. That hose is stiff, folks. Very, very stiff. And this pump is plastic. Alright. I'm trying to take shortcuts here that I know, or at least I'm almost certain, aren't going to work. So, we're going to get this chain brake mechanism uncovered so that we can get some of that the hell out of the way. One thing about an awful lot of Stihls is it's very busy on this drive case side in terms of all the crap that's in your way. But sometimes trying to save 2 minutes will cost you hours, and who knows how many dollars in parts when something gets screwed up. Holy schmolies. That's a lot of grease under there. Damn. Okay. I'm going to have to hose that out. We'll come back. Okay, well, we're in uncharted territories here because I don't know the proper procedure next. So I'm going to guess I don't want to disengage. There we go. There we go. Yeah, hell yeah. I don't want to disengage all this crap if I don't have to. So once you pop this up, you can kind of rotate it out of the notch right there. Now, why does that matter? Well, because it gives me room to lift this oil pump up and off the crankshaft and maybe not disconnect that hose that was going to fight with me all the freaking way. So we'll just tuck it out of the way. There's the worm gear. Alright. Now, I really don't think this seal is leaking. But we're going to replace it on principle. Getting a bite can be some, you know, couple slipperoos. This is a pretty big shell. I normally use that round shank screwdriver so that I've got an idea of when it's going to go kablooey. We're close. Some guys here will gotta drill a hole and put a screw in and use vice grips and all that stuff, and that'll work. Not saying that it won't, but you're running the risk of getting some metal contamination in there, and yes, I know all of those tricks to avoid that, but you're still running the risk. And in the end, it takes longer. The way I do this, I have never scarred a crankshaft. I haven't scarred a crankcase. That was leaking a little bit, by the way. There was sawdust on that. Like I was saying, I haven't screwed something up. And I've done an awful lot of these. So I'm comfortable with it. I would say, like anything, do what you're comfortable with. I'm just putting a little oil pre-lube on this seal. Get her started right there. There she goes. Now I'm assuming that this will put enough on the outside. I'm going to start tapping and see. I don't necessarily care for that. What do we have in our magic box of fun here? That's not a whole lot bigger, but it'll work. Yeah, oh, this old game. Start one side and the other side pops up a little bit. Oh yeah. That's fun. That is fun indeed. But not very much fun. I don't think my Homelight one's all that much bigger. Like as in none bigger. Oh, come on, sit still, you little punk. There she goes. Out of my way, oil pump. Okay. We're there. Sometimes a brass drift pin tool is just as much fun as anything else. Now, we're there, folks. We're going to get this. Now, I don't want this video, because there's a Stihl out there, an 026, and this is how I replaced the seals and diagnosed it and all that. Please do not in any way take away from that I am any kind of a Stihl expert or can answer your questions about runnability and whatever on your 026, because I can't. I can give you generalizations, you know, based on just general two-stroke knowledge, but I am not an expert on anything Stihl, and for that I am eternally grateful that I am not. Because I don't want to be. But, again, a two-stroke's a two-stroke's a two-stroke. Within a fair amount of reason. Now, where are you supposed to be riding? I think right there. That's on the ledge. Within reason, you know, you can deduce some stuff just based on your knowledge of a two-stroke engine. I suppose we ought to put the damn cover back on. There we go. And then I'll clean that clutch up. This would be the right time to put a new rim sprocket on that, because that one looks like shat. It's definitely seen some time in the wood, or driving the chain, I guess I should say. Right. Blast that with a little bit of brake cleaner. Or a lot. Okay. If you're thinking to yourself, boy, I think that was him dropping that out there. Yep, it was. Because, you know, why do things the easy way when you got to visually chase down the freaking sprocket bearing, you know? That's just good, clean fun right there. Alright. The sprocketto is going back in place. Or clutch. Let's get that thing. I'll be damned if I remember what size. Number 19 it is. Okay. And we ought to take some time and put a little grease on the bearing. Rumor has it they like that. Wouldn't help if this glove had gone on right so that my finger was actually at the end instead of this abomination that I've got, but beggars and choosers, I guess. Okay. Let's see, hopefully I should have some of those small spline 325s, I hope. Are you kidding me? Are you actually freaking kidding me? I'll be damned. Huh. Okay. Well, this one will stay on for now. It needs replaced, but you can at least do a test run. And it's not like those Sprockets are hard to find unless you're in my shop, and then they're impossible to find. As I sit down to process videos tonight, I know what I'll be ordering, and I'll bet you guys do too. Now, I left it off, but you know what? That's good. That'll force me to remember it. This really is worn. See how deep that is? That was not far from actually touching the splines, in fact. No, it didn't, but damn did it get close. So you don't want to ruin a rim drum by running it too low. Alright, enough babbling, enough bull crap. Let's put this thing back together. And I think I'm going to put that on before I forget it. That screw is small enough I could fire this engine up and blow it somewhere across the bench and never find it again. This is how my supply of metric fast... Come on! Damn it! This glove is really pissing me off. Son of a bitch. Okay. I think I fumbled around with that as much as I need to. Starter looks good. That rope is not shot. Talk about hardware you don't want to lose. Stuff for the chain brake there. You'll be out 20 bucks worth of hardware if you're not careful. Don't ask me how I know that, because I've worked on a few of this style where the chain brake and the upper starter screw are the same setup. Not too many, but enough to know better than to lose any of that crap. Alright, there we are. Now I guess that'll all be visible. See if we can get this sucker mounted back down. Oh, yeah, you've been off long enough. Something isn't formed quite there. Still odd to me that the only thing that holds it down is one screw at the top, but guess it works. There it is. Nothing to lose. How much of this do I want on here? So I do want to be able to see to tune this. There it goes. Okay. That actually is fairly convenient. And there's a twist and lock. She's there. Almost scary, folks. If I recall correctly, God, whose is this? I think this is Brian's. That's bad. I should have looked at the box before firing this up. But if I recall correctly, it would start and run before it just was losing power. And wouldn't hold in the cut. And based on the leakage around that flywheel seal that we could see, I know the other one was leaking too, I can totally see how this thing would lean out pretty quick in the cut. So I'm glad that our inspection earlier of the piston through the muffler port didn't reveal anything bad. Alright. That should be full choke with throttle lock. Cross your fingers, folks. Yeah, something's not right. That should have fired already. Yep, that's not right. Oh. Did I flood it? I didn't hear it try to run. What in the bloody hell was that? Oh boy. There should have been a washer on that. God damn it. Son of a bitch. I sure don't have one in my parts pile, but oh, wow. You guys know what that was? That nut let loose on that goddamn flywheel, and it backfired so freaking hard, it blew this front muffler cover out. Damn. I should have trusted my instinct and gone, that wasn't right, but whew. That is not at all what you want to hear. Holy shit. Hopefully it didn't jack anything up. Right there. Damn it. I'm going to have to go out to an IPL and figure out what the hell. Well, it's just a lock washer for crying out loud. But I still want to see what the hell they call for in there. Shit. Took out the pin, or the key. Ah, damn it. Okay, well, I'll have to go out to the IPL for that. Find a key. But despite the fact that my blood pressure and adrenaline are probably through the roof right now, the key served its purpose and sheared. It didn't damage the flywheel, didn't damage the crankshaft. It just said, screw you, idiot, put a freaking lock washer in there. Oh man, that's horse manure. I really want to, damn it, I want to be able to turn that over a little bit, but not going to be able to with the spark plug in. Yeah, look at this. It actually blew the damn thing right out. I'm going to have to loosen those up and put it back. And maybe bend that down a little bit. Okay. I had all these parts together. Well, that wasn't smart. Had all these parts together, and I sure don't see a washer. But I must. That has to be, there had to have been one. Even though I see absolutely no indication of it down there, you can be damn certain I'm not putting it back together without one. Not after that. Holy. Okay, well, that is an well, I guess that's really a climactic way to end a video. I wanted to end this with, hey, it's ready to rock and roll. Instead, we'll end it with my thoughts on what was going on here as I was tuning it.
Hi.
Beat it, Munchkins. The low side was way rich, which is no big surprise with the way they were leaking, but this high side, you know, this screwdriver doesn't fit in this hole well, but it was closed. So I've got it open to one turn, and that's what I was trying to do. That's why I had a good rev on it when that happened. So I think when I get a key back in it, get that damn flywheel secured down hard so it'll stay put, I think we were at the right point there. It was definitely lean on the high side. So again, I don't remember if I messed with that when I was inspecting the carb. I don't think so. That's generally not my tendency. I like to start a saw where I got it. It doesn't matter at this point. Is that water or fuel? Oh man, 'tis fuel. Got a cap leak. Yeah, I don't see exactly where the seal's bad, but obviously it's bad somewhere. Because she's sitting here dripping fuel all over my bench, making a stinking mess. Sure hope that's serviceable. If not, it's going to get a fuel cap, because I don't have any patience for... Oh yeah, it's leaking all over around there. I think it's there. Oh. Oh, it's that vent. Well, whatever. I'll figure it out. Make sure it's not the carburetor. God, who knows? With that backfire, who knows what kind of crap I could have had come apart in here. That's irritating beyond belief. I really wanted to wrap this up and send it home. Carb boot's still intact. I'm going to see... it is. It's that vent piece. I don't know how that is supposed to be. Whatever that valve is that's down there is not seating properly. Well, I guess I'm going to learn a few more things about Stihls. I'm going to replace that too, so... Alright, it's going to go back in pieces with a little more progress made.